pandemic caused people to get outside, and in doing so, they sought out local parks. Park use continues to soar this year, not just in national and state parks, but parks right here at home too. Some in the industry believe the interest in outdoor recreation will continue long after the pandemic is over. The increased use of parks couldn't have come at a better time for the Three Rivers Park District. They've been on a journey to encourage underrepresented groups to get outside and in local parks. In this week's Newsmakers, we sat down with Amanda Fong from Three Rivers Park District to learn more about what they're doing.
About 6 years ago, we started this community engagement team, and our role is really in building relationships and partnerships into communities that are underrepresented within Three Rivers and with outdoor spaces in general. So it's a lot of building connections with trusted community leaders, with organizations, having a staff that's representative of our community as a whole, and a lot of listening then as we build those relationships. Or what are you interested in doing in the outdoors? What are the barriers that you're facing in accessing those spaces? And then planning around that.
And what have you guys found that some of the barriers why people aren't getting in parks?
Yeah, there's a kind of a complex web of things, I would say, that keep folks from being able to access the outdoors, but for sure cost to participate, access to equipment, having the right gear to be out safely and warmly in all weathers in Minnesota winters, for instance, and the knowledge of how to do an activity. And oftentimes it's representation, like seeing yourself within yourself and your culture within the community or within the activity and within the park spaces as well are all things that come up all the time.
Tell me about some of the success stories you guys have had, some of the programs you've done.
Yeah, well, two things that have really emerged over the last couple of years is an interest in biking, particularly for adults, and a lot of interest in camping, both being things that there's quite a few barriers to get into that if that's not something that you're used to. So with camping over the last few years, we've now have a trailer full of gear that's equipped for about 50 people to go out camping together, and we do that in a leader training style. So we'll bring community leaders, youth workers out and train them on how to run their own overnight experience. The intention is to really take the recreation professional out of the mix, and so they become the expert, bringing their own community where they have relationships out into outdoor spaces. So started with the group equipment, and then now we have individual kits as well, so families can go out and check out gear and get an orientation on site. And then with biking, there's a lot of folks, if you don't learn to ride a bike as a child, then it's a lot harder and a little more intimidating to learn how to do that. So we have a fleet of bikes and are doing just starting kind of cohort learn to ride sessions. So we just completed our first 6-week cohort with a group of about 10 East African women who were just excited to get out rolling and experiencing what it's like to be on bikes. So those are a couple examples.
I bet that's pretty rewarding work to see some of that success.
It's really rewarding work. Yeah, it's in beautiful outdoor spaces and connecting with families and individuals who are excited to be trying something new and to find those healthy, peaceful connections within outdoor spaces too. It's a pretty great role. Yeah.
All right. Amanda Fong with Three Rivers Park District, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Winter is coming as we know it in Minnesota, and Three Rivers Park District wants you to start thinking about what you might be doing this winter. Seasonal job openings are waiting to be filled at the Elm Creek Park Reserve, Chalet, and Tubing Hill. There are 16 positions posted, ranging from instructor positions to clerks and food services. You can find out more information on the Three Rivers Park District website. A new brewery and tap room plans to open north of Highway 610. It plans to open in the Stone Mountain Plaza building next to a Freddy's Steak Burgers and a Chick-fil-A. The brewery will be called Heavy Rotation Brewing, and an update from the name it provided on its application to the city earlier. The business described itself as a nano brewery, meaning it will brew in small batches based on customer preference. No exact opening date has been given. The Brooklyn Park Planning Commission recommended approval this week. In Plymouth, frustration and disappointment is mounting over a road project that has taken several years to come together.
So that's a lot of frustration that's happening from our city, and I think you hear it from every council member that we don't feel like we're being treated fairly by the county.
Members of the Plymouth City Council want more money from Hennepin County than what's currently approved to make major improvements to County Road 47. The city wants to make wholesale changes to a 4-mile stretch of the road between Brockton Lane and Northwest Boulevard. The work will be done in phases, with construction currently slated to start next spring. The city would fix blind spots and add trails to both sides of the road, and it's part of a $30 million project. The county has agreed to provide $5 million, which would simply cover costs to resurface the road. Council members believe that's not enough.
I think that it's important that the county step up its participation in this project, especially given all that Plymouth does for the county and the surrounding area.
One of the most disappointing things is how long the county has taken to do any improvement on that road and the little improvement that they have done.
Over the next month, some council members plan to make a plea to the county board for more funds. The city also plans to seek $20 million from the state legislature to help pay for the project. There are quite a few talented photographers in Plymouth. The winners of this year's photo contest have been announced. Judges had a tough time choosing winners out of the 275 entries in 5 categories. As we go to break, we'll show you a few of those winners, and you can see all of the winners on the City of Plymouth's website.